Hello, and welcome to the Knitworthy podcast. My name is Brianne, also known as Being Brianne on Ravelry and Instagram. And this is episode 81, I think. So I can't find my iPad anywhere. I think one of the kids took it, and who knows where it is now. I looked around for it really briefly and couldn't find it. So I have no show notes today. And I didn't even have a chance to make them on my phone. Excuse me. And so I don't know. I don't know anything at this point. So we're winging it, people. This could be interesting. That's okay, though. It's all fun. It's not professional. It's just, what we do for fun around here. So I have some things to show you. And I have a book review today. And what else do I have? I have some finished objects and some new cast-ons, and I'm looking at my pile over here. I have some, hi kitty, hi. I have a cat. I forgot to put in my daughter's room. Hi, how are you? What you doing? So don't bite. Don't bite. Thank you. Oh, yes. She loves my phone. So in any case, come here. I need you to get down now. Thank you for investigating. That was fun. We'll see what happens. Yes. Okay. That threw me off. That's okay. It's all good. I wasn't really on in the first place, so yeah. Let's start with things that have happened in the last couple weeks. So I recorded on Thursday and Thursday morning, and then Thursday afternoon we'd had some ice and stuff like that. Totally fell on my right knee, and man, I did something good to it. And then on Sunday, right before I was leaving for work, I was trying to, pick up a few things around the house, and I picked up my daughter's backpack because I thought, I'm going to be a really nice mom and put this in her room for her. Such a nice mom. Such good intentions. Totally tweaked something in my back really good. And went to work, just gritted my teeth and, bore my way through it. But Monday, I could hardly move. And Mom came over, and she was so sweet. She helped me around the house. And I got to the chiropractor's office, and the chiropractor that I used to work for. And he was like, "Oh, honey, what did you do?" So I have not been doing a lot of knitting because being in certain positions bothers my back. And I'm doing better now. It's been like a week and a half since I hurt myself. And I've been seeing the chiropractor like 3 times a week and doing exercises. And it's more musculature based injury than like, like a bulging disc, or, like I've herniated something, or, so it's fine. It's getting a lot better now than it was. But, it's like, I feel like such an idiot. Especially since I worked for a chiropractor's office. I know how to lift things correctly, but did I do it? No, I did not. So, gosh, in any case, silly me. We've been having a lot of fun at home. We've been doing lots of school events, as the school year is kind of starting to wrap up. Today is the last day before spring break. My kids are super excited. And, yeah, I can't believe it's gone by so fast. So we don't really have any big plans for spring break this year, but, I think it's going to be good anyways. The kids are going to be spending some time at Boys and Girls Club on days that I don't work. And, I think it'll be good. hopefully I'll get some time off to where I can be with them, because that'll be fun. So let's get talking about knitting. Yay. I have a new cast on. I was going to knit the antler hat. Remember that? Remember how I said, oh yes, I'm going to knit the antler hat? No. This is Cascade 220. The Heathers 220. Yes, the Heathers. In colorway 2434. And it looks like this. I'm sure my red shirt, I'm going off to work after this, so that's why I'm kind of speeding through things. Got my eye on the clock. But I'm sure my red shirt's going to kind of skew things, but sorry about that. This is a beautiful teal colorway, which I think is really lovely. And so I was going to start the antler hat and then decided on something else because I found something in my queue that is what I decided I wanted to work on. And this is the boardwalk hat, or just boardwalk. And it is a beautiful lacy kind of hat. You can kind of see there. Here we go. I think I'm going to give this to my daughter's teacher. She is so sweet and so wonderful with my daughter. And, you know, Ailish is incredibly smart and knows that she is different and has a hard time with it sometimes because, you know, she's, I don't know how to say this without sounding like bragging or, you know, like really, you know, just like, I don't know, weird, but she's the smartest kid in her class. She's in the class with all the other gifted kids, and she's the smartest one of them all. And she also is on the autism spectrum with Asperger's. And so she's a little bit different socially. So when you have, you know, two strikes against you, it makes for a very odd kind of life, you know. And, you know, she deals with some anxiety, and I hate that, but it's just what it is. But, you know, this teacher has been so good for her, and I am so thankful for her. And, you know, we got a chance to talk yesterday at this open mic night that they had. It was like a poetry reading at the school, and Ailish was selected to read a poem that she had written. And it was like, just every time I hear her teacher speak about Ailish, it makes me want to cry, just because she's like so appreciative and like looking out for her, and it's so good. It's so good. Oh my goodness, it's so good. And I think this is what Ailish needed before, you know, she needed a really good experience in 5th grade to, you know, kind of build her up before she goes on into 6th grade and junior high and all that good stuff. So, yeah. So I think this is going to go to Ailish's teacher, because I think that's beautiful. She dresses very, she's a very girly girl, and, you know, always has on her red lipstick, and, you know, has her hair done really cute, and, hi honey. And, I think it's going to be a good hat for her. So I want to get it to her before it gets too warm out so that she can enjoy it. Hi. You coming on over for a little visit? Okay. So yeah, so boardwalk hat, beautiful, really well written instructions, really easy to do. There's been a ton of them knitted, and so I would recommend, don't do that. Don't do that. Time for you to get off the table now. Thank you. Ooh. So yeah, so 10 of them knitted, so you know it's a good pattern. You know that there aren't going to be any mistakes in the pattern or anything. So unless you make the mistake, then that's your fault. I'm just kidding. That was mean. Sorry about that. Okay, next. That's all that I've been knitting on. I spent some time working on my crochet blanket, which I am so in love with. I just pull it out and I'm like, oh, it's as wide as my king size bed, in my California king size bed. So it's quite wide. It does take a lot to get through, one row, but that's okay. I'm not in any rush to get it done, but I really enjoyed spending some time on it over the last 2 weeks, getting it done, getting it worked on. So finished objects, I finished my socket hat. Oh my word. I had some "are you kidding me" moments. We went and saw a movie 2 weekends ago, after I hurt my leg, before I hurt my back. And I brought along 2 projects because I wanted to knit on my 3rd grade crayfish socks, which are cabled, in the car on the way there and back, because we had about 45 minutes in the car each way. And then I also wanted to bring along my sockhead hat because I wanted to have some mindless knitting to do in the movie. So at lunch, which we ate before we went and saw the movie, we saw The Greatest Showman, which, oh my word, such a good movie. Such a good movie. We bought the soundtrack on the way home on iTunes because we were all like, we love this. We also saw it again a week later, which was so much fun. We took my dad to go see it because he loves that kind of thing. So anyways, but at lunch, I lost my cable needle. I must have set it down on the table and forgot it. And so that was such a bummer. And then during the movie, I must have lost my double point needles for this because I work it on a circular needle, a 16-inch number 3. And then I have a set of DPNs, number 3 DPNs, that I use to work the crown decreases. I have no idea what happened to those. They must have fallen out of my project bag while I was knitting or reaching inside them or something. I don't know. But it was like a 45-minute drive. I didn't realize it until we got home that I was missing. Well, I take it back. I realized I was missing my cable needle when we got back in the car and I pulled out my socks to start working on. And I was like, oh man, my cable needle. I don't know where it is. But I didn't want to go back because I was like, it's just a cable needle. It's fine. I can make do. But then when we got home and the next time I pulled out my socket hat, I was like, oh man, where are my double pointed needles? So it was not worth going back for those either because 45 minutes is a long time. It's an hour and a half each way or, round trip. So I'm not going to do that for, some things like I can just, either get from a local yarn store or online. But yes, so I finished this. The crown decreases are different. I decreased more often, so it's not, the usual kind of way that it's done, but that's okay. So it looks a little bit like this on top. And this is from Wool Sunday, who no longer is dyeing yarn, I believe. This is Peacock Palooza colorway, and it's a glittery sock base. Can you see that? So glittery, beautiful. So that's done. That was, I think, sock hat number 11 or 10, somewhere in there. I have also finished my 3rd grade crayfish socks. Yay! This is my long-standing whip that I've had on the needle since July of last year. And let's get these on sock blockers here so you can see what they look like in all their glory. They have not been washed yet, but that's okay. I'll take care of that soon. The last time you saw them, I was on the second sock and I was just about to turn the heel, or I think I had just turned the heel, but I had not picked up gusset stitches. So this is what they look like. And these are out of my hand spun. I am very proud of them and I'm so thrilled to have them done so that I can wear them. They are beautiful and I love them and the pattern was great. I would recommend it to anyone, but it's by Lisa Beth Houchins, I believe is how you say her name. Still haven't ever figured that out. But if you look on Ravelry for 3rd grade crayfish socks, then you will find them because they're the only one with that name. And let's see, I'm going to take off the little stitch marker here. It shows where I was. But yeah, I love these. And I have another, Walnut Farm Designs is the is who I got the fiber from to spin. I have another bat from them, or braid from them, that in this superwash merino nylon blend that I would love to spin into socks. I can't wait to do that. But right now, I haven't had my spinning mojo lately. You ever get that way sometimes where you're like, don't really feel like doing that right now. I've been more concentrating on my knitting and crocheting and stuff. So yeah. So let's talk. I may have bought a couple things. Oopsie. The first thing that came into the stash, which sorry about the crinkling, is this beautiful skein. This is from Direful Yarns. That's going to be the wrong way. In her Vixen base, which is an 80-10-10 superwash merino cashmere nylon blend, 435 yards, and this is Grimm. She does a lot of like Harry Potter based yarns or themed yarns. What else have I seen? I try to remember. I don't know. I've looked at a lot of different yarns on Etsy lately. And so I can't remember exactly which one she does, but this is the Grimm. And it's this kind of gray with some pink overtones. And then the beautiful, like, kind of pinkish burgundy colors, and there's little pops of green that you can see in certain places. Here we go. There's more over here. There you go. That's a pretty good representation there. But it's very pretty. And I've just really been into like speckles lately, the speckled yarns. The Let Them Eat Cake socks by Undyed Yarn Company totally made me love them, and my Mariposa socks by Undyed Yarn Company, love those, the little speckly bits. And it was so fun, you know, every time I come across a new color, I'd be like, oh, look at this, it's a little pop of, you know, green, or, you know, blue, or, you know, whatever color was, you know, in there. I was just like, oh my goodness, so excited. So I thought, you know, this was beautiful. Yeah. So I'm very excited to cast these on at some point. This is going into my using up soon stash. You know, I have, you know, like my stash that's in storage, and then I have my stash that's under the bed that I pull from for immediate projects. So yeah, so these will be cast on at some point pretty soon, but I'm very excited. These are really beautiful, and I think they're going to make some beautiful yarns and some beautiful leftovers to go into my blanket. Yay! Okay, so the other thing that I purchased is, let's see, how do I do this? This was from Andrea Sue Knits on Etsy. She is destashing some of her yarn that she dyes, and but it's undyed yarn, and so I have 51 grams, a whole half of a sock left worth, half of that 100 grams left from my 3rd grade crayfish socks. And so I thought, I need some yarn to pair it with to make some other socks, and so I can really extend this and get another pair of socks out of here. So yeah, so I bought this. It was very, very, it was a good price. I believe that it was like $3.50 per half skein, and the shipping was very reasonable. And so so I picked that up to go with this. I am keeping them in my bag along with the needles so that I can cast these on really quickly, because I'm just that in love with the yarn. And I think I'll just do like maybe like a stripy pair of socks perhaps, or something in stockinette, to really show off the yarn. And yeah, so I'm really excited about that. So I did bring 2 things into the stash over the last couple weeks, but I'm very excited about how they're going to turn out. And especially, I don't know, I'm really excited about turning that other half of the sock skein into a beautiful pair of socks for someone, maybe for me, maybe for Ailish. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe for Mom. Who knows? So many choices. Lastly, I bought a couple of knitting books. I had told you that I had picked out some yarn to knit a shawl out of, and it's this beautiful yarn from Up in Yarn Designs. This is the Sporto Rooney in her Of the Earth colorway, and it's an 80-20 superwash merino nylon sport weight blend, 328 yards per skein. And she's on Etsy if you'd like to take a look at her stuff. But this is just really, I think it's just beautiful. And what I want to knit out of it is a curl pattern by Hunter Hammerson. And I bought both of the curls books. These are beautiful. Let me show you the front of the first book. It looks like this. And the way that these are constructed, I'll show you this, is they look like this. So they are not there. You start on one end, and they curl around themselves, which is how they got their names. I know, right? And they have different constructions, of how you can do these, ways that you can change your curl. But here's what this looks like. This is what they end up looking like. What I love is that every single one that they do is they show you how to style them different ways. So if you look, like here's a good example, like here's, you could wear it like this if you want to, with, this curl part kind of, cascading down. Or you could wear it like this, where you have the small part, you have the long part, the wider part here, and then this small part kind of wrapped around. So you wouldn't necessarily know that it was a curl. It would just look like, a beautiful, stole kind of thing, or, shawl. But I just think they're really beautiful. And Hunter Hammerson did a great job with this. I'm trying to think who this is published by. Pantsville Publishing, perhaps. That's what it says on the side. But there are 14 patterns in the first one and the second one. So 28 patterns all together. And this is the second book, which is where I'm pulling my pattern from. What I like about the second book too is that all of the patterns are done in like blues and grays, which I think if all of the yarn colors are very similar, it helps you focus not on the yarn so much as you are focusing on the stitch pattern. So here are the different patterns in here. And I don't know how well you can see, but let me find the one that I'm going to be doing. It's called Cosinage, and it looks like this. Get a little closer. So beautiful. There are patterns of varying difficulties, which I enjoy. You know, sometimes you don't want something that's too terribly difficult. Sometimes you want something that's a little bit more, you know, simple. Sometimes you want something that's a little bit more challenging. And I really like the variety of patterns. I like that some of them are very structured and some of them are more, you know, kind of easy breezy kind of looking. There are so many to choose from, and I think it just really is just beautiful. I have not cast on my curl yet, but from what I can see, the patterns are very well written. They come with charts. There are instructions on how to read charts if you're not terribly comfortable with them or haven't used a chart before. I really prefer written out directions. That's just me. You know, however, I am going to, you know, try really hard to, you know, use the chart and, you know, get more comfortable with them, just because I really do want to increase my skill as a knitter. And that's one way that I can do that is by, you know, learning new things. I have used charts before in like cables and things like that. So I'm not a complete rookie when it comes to that, but that's okay. I just, it's been a while since I've used a chart. Let's see. So that's a future knit. I'm going to be trying to cast that on here pretty soon. But I've loved knitting on my boardwalk hat, and so that's kind of been taking up my time over the last few days. And yeah, I'm looking around. I think that's it. So yeah, no new socks on the needles right now. What? Who is this person? Who knows? Yeah, and just a hat and my curl that I'm going to be casting on. And yeah, so that's what's going on around here, people. I tell you, it's all good. We'll see how much knitting I get done next week with spring break. They're increasing hours at work just because spring break is usually the start of our tour season here, which goes from March until the end of the year. January, February, part of March, not quite so busy, but spring break comes along and, you know, people start coming, families start coming to visit, and Branson is a tourist town. You know, I mean, that's where we generate our income from, and so it's like, you know, it's all about tourism here. So yeah, so it's kind of nice. I'll be getting more hours at work, which is good because the store will be busier. And, but yeah, so, and then I have DFW Fiber Fest coming up in a few weeks. Yay! I put in for time off for that, so that's good. I'm trying to think of anything else that's coming up. I can't think of anything. And the end of school year is in May. So crazy. So we had Owen's 9th grade integration night where the 8th graders over 2 different days, depending on, you know, what the first letter of your last name is, you know, you go on a certain day to go tour the high school and to hear from the principal and the vice principals and you know, just kind of get a feel of, you know, what things are going to be like there. And they had student leaders who took you on a tour of the school, you know, and oh my word, it's a huge campus. It's really big. And it was a little a little overwhelmed. Owen was a little overwhelmed too. But, they talked about how, the first week, they're going to have student leaders out, making sure, especially the freshmen, are able to find their classes, and teachers will be out in between classes helping to guide you and to give you directions and, answer questions and stuff like that. So I'm really hoping that, that we'll be able to prepare him enough to where, he is able to get to classes okay. And we'll walk his schedule a few times before the first day of school, just so that he can, feel a little bit more confident going into that first day. My heart was not ready to have a boy in 9th grade. Sorry. He's going into high school. I feel really teary about it, over the last few weeks. Excuse me. Over the last few weeks, it's gotten me really teary lately, it's just hard. It's hard to believe, that my oldest son is going into high school now. And, all these changes, so many changes. That's okay though. We see those little glimpses. Excuse me. We see these little glimpses of who he's becoming, and it makes me so proud as a mother to see him growing up and taking responsibility for things and, being helpful and trying to, be a man, but he's still so young at heart. He's still, playing with little toys and, I don't know. I mean, he's this man child, and, I don't know. Anyways, and all these reminiscings of, our past with him and, I don't know. Anyways, this is not any related. So anyways, that's what's going on. Lots of end of school stuff starting, and so it's all good. That is it for this week. I hope that you all have a really wonderful week, and we will see you. I will see you in 2 weeks, I hope. And at that point, I'll be in full preparation mode for DFW Fiberfest. And I'm super excited about that. That is really a huge thing to look forward to. And I'm just thrilled that I get to go. And so looking forward to it so much. It's just awesome. So, yay! I will see you in a couple weeks, and I hope that you guys have such a wonderful week. I hope that it is just amazing and that wonderful things are happening for you and with you, and that you are being blessed and that you are blessing others, and with words and deeds and in every way that you are looking out for ways to be a blessing to other people, and that you are being blessed in return. And I will see you guys later. But until next time, just remember that you are knitworthy. Bye, friends.